Hi, guys. Good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. And for those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, you guys, bless you. Thank you. November were both not my months, I guess. I've been really lagging. I need to rethink the Patreon page too. I'm thinking about making it a once monthly live event for just Patreon subscribers. Uh, I'll have to discuss that with you guys and see what works best for you guys. Because the majority of my Patreon subscribers are um, those that go for the free charmings. And so the high end subscribers. So I'm thinking I would like to have just a one off every month evening where it's just us. No, people jumping in for $25 readings where the focus can just be on you guys and doing cards, charms, whatever you guys want. And we just set that night of like a Friday night or whatever works ideally for everybody's schedule. Friday nights would work for me because that would usually be on my weekend. It's also a fun thing to do on a Friday night, but I don't know how busy you people are. You people, I say, like I don't know you ladies, but the majority, I think all of my Patreon subscribers are ladies, so I think it's safe to say ladies. And if there's any men in there that are offended by that, then oh well, so be it. Um, so keeping that in mind, know that that's coming. I'm thinking about revamping everything, but by the end of the year, I'm trying to finish out the year the way that I've done the whole year, just for a completion of cycle, even though I'm not doing it very well. But just because the year is completing and the new year is coming, I think that it might be time to overhaul things. The daily will stay the same. I like the daily and sort of the formatting of the daily, but I think that Patreon will shift in how we meet. Um, uh, I think that I want insight from my Patreon subscribers as to what you guys want to see. Those of you that are not at the highest level, that's okay too. You guys will still get the daily a day early on Patreon, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's about it. I'm going to change around the monthly tarot scopes. Also, possibly just doing them by element rather than by sign, where in essence I do four readings instead of the whole 12. I don't know. We'll see. It's just this job is creating a huge attention shift in a different direction. And I do love the channel. I love doing this. It's when priorities are that I need to be somewhere because there's somebody paying me to be there, I have to, shift that attention. So, anyways, now back to you guys and what I do, what I love to do, right? Which is read cards. My name is Dan. This is Angel, guys. And for those of you that don't know me, you should get to know me, damn it, because I'm fucking amazing, quite frankly. That's my frustration too. Just be honest. That some of my frustration with the channel is that it's not growing, and I don't know. Do I need to take out a YouTube ad? Like, how do people do this? I watch other channels grow naturally, or I'm assuming it's natural, and I don't understand why I'm not growing. Why I'm not hitting the algorithm. I'm not sure what's going on. I put up daily content without fail. I believe it's good content. I know that the viewers that do tune in enjoy it. Just for those of you that are new, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, um, ask and leave any questions or comments. Those are all ways that you can support the channel. Please share the channel out, tell your friends about me. I like to think I'm a good reader. I'm a valid source of inspiring information in your day. That's what I seek to be. Or that I, aspire to. And that's what I wanted this channel to be about, similar to like a daily forecast of energy as to what to potentially expect could be going on out there. That's the whole joke about the spiritual meteorologist, right? It's like, we have clouds coming in from the north and dress warmly, traffic is going to be a little bad, right? That kind of a thing, yet with more of a spiritual bend. So we look at these cards for all signs because it's all fluid and we're all interconnected. There's a lot of flexibility with this. This reading is originally created for Wednesday, the 10th of November. We're already 10 days into November. We're a third of the month is gone, and it feels like I'm still in October. What the hell is going on? I mean, Jesus. And if we see our friend, and those of you that have been watching every day, if we see our friend today, that's the friend who's visited us the last 3 days, I'm gonna flip my lid. So we better see a different card today. That's all I'm saying. So this is for the 10th, but it's not solely set for that date of November 10th. If you're seeing this on a different date, if you're seeing this on January 3rd of 2025, use it. The reading may apply. What I say might apply to a specific situation or move you in a way that, makes sense. That's okay. Go with it. All of my readings are like that. I have 3 years worth of readings dating back from now 2019, 2020, and 2021, which is almost coming to an end. There's 3 years of daily readings on this channel that you can play Reading Roulette and go check out. All right, so let's see what's going on in the cards today. Oh, and please check out the drop-down menu. Sorry to be so long-winded this morning. I just feel like I should check in with you guys a little bit, tell you a little bit. Oh, cats are fighting. Oh, God. The cats are fighting outside. I can't stop it. I'm not going to try and control it. They're going to have to work it out amongst themselves. I just can't with this orange cat. He's such a jerk. Such a jerk. Anyways, so let's just see. For those of you also that are new, please check out the drop-down menu. And there is all of my information on how to find me, how to contact me or leave me a message directly. If you have, like, say, maybe a more private question that you don't want to leave on the channel, or if you want to go to private reading, all that's available to you. Okay, so let's see what the card is for the day. And if you want your daily reading, like this daily reading a day ahead of time so you can prepare, sort of like mock up your day, manifest a little bit more, kind of get into the flow of things a little bit ahead of time, you can also subscribe to the Patreon channel for $3.33 for the month, and you get the daily forecast a day early. Okay, so let's see what it is. All right, we're going to take it. This deck is so funky. These shrouded figures, I do not know. This artist, he's got me feeling all types of way. Traditionally, 4s are about foundations, right? They're about security to me, right? They're 4 legs on a table. This is the 4 of Wands. Now, the 4 of Wands usually has this sort of soulmated, definitely a spirit connection because it is a Wands and a fire card, right? And it's usually a positive celebratory card, right? It comes with this couple running underneath a wreath. They're celebrating their marriage. There's party goers in the background, all of that. I get none of those vibes from this from this photo. Now, I am going to factor in that it is a positive card. 4 of Wands is a deeply spiritual card. It's about spiritual connection. What I'm looking at here is I'm looking at what appears to me ourselves being mirrored back to ourselves, if that makes sense, right? We've got 2 shrouded white figures. Again, that white being sort of about purity or the pure sides of ourselves, maybe the more vulnerable sides of ourselves, and they're staring each other down. Now, whether that's with an outside connection around us, another person, it could be with, say, a job or a career. It could be something that we feel emotionally, not even emotionally, beyond emotionally, it'd be spiritually connected to. That's going to take a role today. That's going to be part of today's great and grand scheme. We've been seeing that Wheel of Fortune card for the last 3 days, and it's been on fire. And it's interesting because we have these 4 candles here representing the 4 wands, which I think is kind of a cool way to do that. But there's no flames there. It looks like maybe the fire has dimmed, or that time that we were running out of, the clock has done ticked, and now it's time to face ourselves. But because this is the 4 of Wands, I really do believe this is bringing us to a place closer to our own understanding, and again, for our own highest spiritual good. There should be a joy with this card, right? Especially with that 3 of Cups underneath it. 3 of Cups is about the ones we love, celebration, coming together, joining with them. Even, it's, let's be honest, it's 3 chicks partying in a field, right? it's not necessarily the vibe that I get with this artist's deck, but the ultimate thing is that somehow we're facing ourselves in the depths of like the deepest, darkest, fall November mornings, right? And I think we're learning something about ourselves that is to our benefit, that is to be celebrated. But it takes some of that work. It takes some of that shift. I think that this deck is great for the fall shift because it is kind of somber. It is kind of a little bit, almost in a weird way, gruesome, right? But it's not necessarily a bad thing. So let's face ourselves down. One moment, I gotta go see if the cat's okay. Hold on. Oh God, sorry about that. The cat was meowing outside the window, so I was wanting to make sure he was okay. He just sees the light on because it's early in the morning and he knows I'm in here, so he's trying to get into the house. Anyways, so back to this card. Four of Wands is usually like a soulmate card, and it has to do with connecting to someone else or something. I always kind of broaden the horizon with sometimes the meanings of these cards, where I feel like it can also be connecting to something that we love dearly at a spiritual level, right? So it can be about finding our passion, right? Our thing, and marrying ourselves to it, grabbing hold of that dream and chasing after it. Now, with this particular Four of Wands card, though, there's something about this deck that has a very, and it is called the Somnia, which, Somnia has to do with sort of, I think, you think of the word insomnia, sleep, the mind, the subconscious, and some of these like shrouded people and stuff give me this like ooky kooky little bit of a vibe to it. But it takes me to this sort of internal darker place. And I don't mean dark in a bad way. I mean dark in a more quiet, meditative place, right? And so what I'm getting from this card today is a couple things. One is, are we facing ourselves, right? Are we looking ourselves down today? Are we connecting to ourselves in a way that's productive, that's loving, that's kind, that is in acceptance of what we see, right, within ourselves? That's the thing that I want to know from you guys. That's the thing that I feel like this card is about today, is about sitting at the table with ourselves and going like, okay, self, how you doing today? Yesterday's stone was embrace. This is that embrace that's taking place amongst us or within us. Now, for some of you, it could be an embrace or a meeting of the minds with somebody outside of yourself. Maybe it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a significant other that you're, feeling all types of way about. And that's fine too. It can definitely represent that. This could be a boss even. Connecting with a boss at a deeper level and experiencing like a soul connection love with them, on some level. Soul connection love doesn't have to be sexual. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can just feel like, I really love this person for who they are, right? Flaws and all. That to me is soulmatery, in a way. Is soulmatery even a word? I think I'm going to coin that. Do you know what I'm saying? When we can have that, like, I have a boss currently right now that I love. Like, I think he's great. He's young and but he's one of the most like genuinely sweet, compassionate people I've met in a long time. And it's nice to know that there's people out there in the world still like that. And so I find him to be, um, like quite inspiring, just for as young as he is and as genuine as he is and as kind as he is. It's nice to know that like not all young people are jaded or angry or frustrated or looking to get one over. You know what I'm saying? And so in some ways I could consider the fact that I've met him and my interactions with him have re-inspired almost my faith in humanity in a weird way, right? And so, do I love my boss? Fuck yeah, I love my boss. He's my direct supervisor. He's a great guy. I'm proud to work under him, even though he's like half my age, right? And he always is making funny comments about being so young. And I'm like, don't let that get in your way, dude. Like, the fact that you are this young and that you're doing what you're doing right now just speaks to volumes to who you are as a person and where you're going to end up in the end, right? And so that is sort of what I'm talking about here, is finding those relationships in our lives. If we don't have it within ourselves, then find it somewhere, in our world, right? That would be the meaning of this card today. Remember, we have that Three of Cups underneath this, so this should be about celebrating others also, or coming into celebration with ourselves, about ourselves, or allowing others to celebrate us too, right? But maybe seeing us in a more raw form. These shrouded figures are a little bit ooky spooky to me. They're giving me a little bit like, I don't know, horror movie vibes. But the truth is that sometimes we sit with ourselves and we think our insides are like horror films, and if people find out who we truly are, they're not going to like us, and that's not necessarily the truth. Everybody has that sort of insecurity within them, right? So today's the day to maybe look at that. Maybe even celebrate that a little bit. Join it at the dinner table, so to speak. I love this, like these four candles here, like they're having a conversation amongst themselves that is ultimately for their own highest spiritual good. That would be the wands aspect of this. Let's see what the Urban Crow has to say. Okay, Urban Crow says resistance. Do we see him flying into the face of this storm? He is not backing off. He is not letting that burning clock of Wheel of Fortune stop his ass from getting where he needs to go, right? Any resistance he's actually using probably to keep him buoyant and keep him in flight, keep him moving forward. Does that make sense? So in a strange way, it's similar to like this Four of Wands, how we're facing ourselves and looking at ourselves in all of like maybe our frailties, our insecurities, whatever. We also can use those frailties and insecurities or that intimacy with ourselves to move ourselves through resistances we may have either within ourselves, within life, within situations, right? And sometimes it's those very resistances that actually like strengthen us, make us better flyers like this crow, make us more skilled at flying. Sometimes it's those life challenges. We've been seeing that Wheel of Fortune all week, right? In the early part of this week, and it's been giving me kind of ooky vibes in a weird way of this like for lack of a better terminology, shit or get off the pot kind of vibes. And I feel like this is us getting off the pot finally, right? We've actually done our business and we're ready to move forward now. Oops, time to get up. We've actually done our business now and we're ready to move, even if we're moving towards or within the face of adversity. Now, the adversity isn't necessarily, I mean, it could be resistance from outside sources. It could just be resistance in life. It could be something that we want or that we feel like we want. And we're like, oh shit, how am I going to get there? How am I going to make this happen? How am I going to find acceptance around this part of myself that I really just don't understand or don't like or don't agree with? How do I make sense of why I was treated a certain way my entire this is my thing. Okay, I'm going to share a piece of me. How do I make sense and love myself when every signal that I've gotten from every outside source has been some sort of weird mixed message about the fact that I'm unlovable, or at least that's the way I've chose to interpret it in my life? And that affects me as an adult male, right? I mean, the fact that I'm gay and I grew up in the 70s and the 80s is I was taught that I was a scourge, that I was like doomed to hell and deserved AIDS and was going to die. The fact that I have weird family issues, that like we just aren't the best communicators, and somewhere in my youth, in my young age, I believed that I was the reason for that it was my fault. And that's not necessarily true, you know? And I have to remind myself a lot of the times that that was not necessarily true, even though sometimes I'm still feeling as though I'm being treated in that same way. And part of the reason why I'm being treated in that same way, I think, is because that's the universe's way of sort of showing me and re-educating me and reminding me, no, wait, Dan, we need to sit at the table, we need to look at ourselves, we need to own ourselves, we need to look at everything that we feel is ugly, that we feel is unworthy, that we feel is shameful, and we need to embrace it even in the face of whatever resistance life gives us. So let's go to the grounding stone. Remember, the grounding stone, you guys, this week is faith. And so having that faith that you can do this, even in the face of resistance, is going to be key too. But the word, or what we want to ground in today, is this freedom, right? And we've seen this word before. And what this freedom means to me in this particular reading is, even though these beings are shrouded in the Four of Wands, ultimately they look at each other long enough, they converse with each other long enough, they dialogue with each other long enough, they become into that place of acceptance of one another. They end up actually embracing one another. They free themselves out from underneath those sheets, right? They are able to celebrate that Three of Cups energy that's underneath this Four of Wands. This is actually, if this was a traditional tarot reading, I'd be like, shit, this is a bang up day. But what I'm feeling here is this is going to be a bit of a challenging day that's going to have a really big payoff for those of us that like rise to the occasion, to like take flight even in the face of the resistances we may have going on within us, around us, that are coming at us. We can use those situations to either remember yesterday's card too. I love that card from yesterday, that in the Urban Crow, which was that insight where it was that crow was finding the rocks to drop in the water to like make the shrimp rise to the top so it could eat. I love that card. I don't know if MJ tunes into these at all, but that card to me was like brilliant. And so that some of what I feel like is in this resistance card is, although life may give us, what is that phrase? Life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? If the flight feels extra hard today, or a little extra, like if we have to go a little extra deep today, do it, because we're doing it to, in essence, understand ourselves better, become more strong and powerful in who we are, and more accepting of who we are. And in that acceptance, we find that freedom. We can ground in that freedom, right? We deserve a seat at the table today, guys. That's really the message. And we need to realize that and give ourselves that seat at the table and celebrate that today. That is your forecast for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that thumbs up button, share the video out if you choose to do so. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to me. And I hope that this, people can relate to these readings and that they're making sense to them. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. We'll see how these cards build. And have a wonderful day and take care. All right, bye-bye.